Hello and welcome to another episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club, my ongoing video series exploring the world of anime and manga and light novels and visual novels and whatever else I want to talk about really within the genre, because it's my show. I put these up every other Monday, and there's a theme for each one. And I do try to keep things positive around here. I try to celebrate the things that excite me, the subgenres, the things that I have learned, my reviews hopefully are positive about shows, and I try not to dwell too much on the shows that I didn't really like, because usually I just skip those shows if I don't really like them. But sometimes I do need to be a bit more like the rest of the internet anime community and talk a little smack. And we're going to do that about the worst anime filler. This is an incomplete list. I am sure I will do another one of these in the comments below this video. At any time during this video, just let me know what's your worst filler. It could be an arc or just an episode. Maybe it was just like 2 episodes and one of them was just like, what am I even watching here? What is this? Or a show, or let me know your favorites. I should also do a good filler episode of the Pat Baer's Anime Club. Pat Baer's Anime Club. I should do a good filler episode as well, but that's not here nor there. That's another video. This video is the worst anime filler. I took fucking notes on these. I got 5 examples from 4 anime. That's right. One anime, I have 2 examples of bad filler, and there's plenty more for that show, so I gotta do another one of these. Let's start with the Jiggle Butt Gang. Now, Fairy Tail, which is what this is from. Fairy Tail is known for its filler. It's got at least 2 filler arcs that are long, and some people fucking hate because they don't make sense even for Fairy Tail, which is a adventure series that has lots of comedic elements. It's kind of a big part of it is that there are a lot of jokes and callbacks and fun stuff. The Jiggle Butt Gang they show up more than once. And if they only showed up once, it'll be like, okay, well that's weird, but sure, all right. They're fart-based offense, and they're silly, and they have tight outfits, and there's a lot of gas jokes and whatever. But they come back. And when they come back, there's also a scene where some of our female characters are wearing their suits, and that's just more fan service because the manga Fairy Tail is fan service heavy and horny on main. The anime's worse. Did not need to be that. The fact, honestly, I made this list because the Jiggle Butt Gang are reoccurring filler characters, and they do not need to be. Good day to you, Jiggle Butt Gang. The only thing, it's fun to say, and that's the only thing they got going for them. Very frustrating. That one is just like, that's annoying. I like this show. This is, why are we doing this again? That's that. Let's talk about some filler that made me furious at the time. I didn't know Jiggle Butt Gang was filler until later. I knew during the course of it that the Devil Believers are filler and terrible filler. Black Clover has some filler episodes. They don't have a lot of filler arcs. This isn't even called its own arc. It's just contained within a regular arc, but it's all filler. I wrote this down. These are episodes 142 to 148, which is unofficially called the Devil Believers arc because it is not an arc from the manga. It is just added material, and it's, hey, it's only 6 episodes. Like I said, Black Clover has some filler to it. Like all shonen, it's got a little bit to kind of pad things out so manga can keep being produced and they have more things to reference without having to take breaks. And sometimes filler is good. I should say that. Sometimes filler is great because it allows for world building. It allows for looking at some characters. Maybe it's like bonus material from the author that wasn't part of the regular chapters, but was part of, the graphic novel collections. And the volumes that came out had this information. And they're like, oh, we'll put that in. Or, this minor character is very popular, so we're going to give them an episode because that'll be fun. Let's explain this thing based on our conversations with the mangaka. We'll do that. And sometimes filler is just like, well, we need something. So we'll just do something. And the problem with filler is, because it's made up for the anime, it only exists in the anime, and the anime writers and creators have to decide to call it back or reference it or remember that it exists, because it won't be referenced in the manga, which they are adapting, or the light novel, or whatever they're adapting. The visual novel, the actual book, like the volumes of real novel things, long form writing, I should say, not real, long form. So the Devil Believers is an arc that is just in the anime, and it's short, and I shouldn't have a problem with it, Pat, because it's just like something to tide people over. It's not comic relief. It's a serious story, and even though it's affecting, it won't affect anybody. But Pat, why are you so mad about the Devil Believers? Why is this the worst anime filler? It's because the character in the dead center and the other woman there in the middle of this group of the Devil Believers, they are the only queer characters in Black Clover. Black Clover has no queer characters. So the only queer characters in it are non-canon. Now, are they, hey, we're in love, we're married, gay? No. It is heavily implied and heavily suggested that they have formed an intimate relationship over time. And they are a couple in this arc. It's not blatantly said. This is fairly obvious subtext that is basically text. This is a couple. Great, Pat. Something that was missing from the manga and the source material is now in the anime. There's queer representation in the show, and it's not over the top. They seem to just be two people who found each other and found comfort with each other and have fallen in love. That's awesome, right? Except they're the villains. And they're not just the villains because they are stooping to a life of crime, or they've always been like this and they found each other and they love doing what they do and breaking society's rules. These are tragic villains. They have been, through circumstance, pushed too far, and they've gone down the wrong road, but you can understand why they did. So they are tragic, queer villains who are in the world of, by the end of it, and I'm going to fucking spoil it because I don't fucking give a shit. By the end of this arc, the Devil Believers arc in Black Clover, they are presumed to be walking off to their death. They're tragic queer villains who have most likely died by the time the anime ends and the movies start, which continue the anime. It's fucking shameful. Don't do that. Don't do that. I like Black Clover a lot. I hate this. I hate the Devil Believers arc. Perhaps I made this video simply so I could yell about it again. Perhaps. Let's talk about one that didn't make me hate it. It's just frustrating, and fans fairly universally dislike this arc. The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. I don't know. I don't say Haruhi Suzumiya often. I don't get to talk about the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, a fantastic series, that often. I don't get to gush about this show as much as I would like. Well, there's a thing called the Endless 8 arc, and people hate it. It's 8 episodes, as implied by the title, The Endless 8, and it's a time loop. Our characters do not know that they're repeating time over the course of the 8 episodes. You, as the viewer, are fairly unclear about what's going on at first, and you figure things out because you can figure it out. But our characters take a while to do it. And, oh, that's interesting, Pat. It's a time loop and all that. Wait, it's 8 episodes. Doesn't that get incredibly frustrating? Yes, it does. Because wouldn't they, in fact, be repeating dialogue? Yes. And even repeating whole scenes, whole cloth? Yes. And not redrawing it, just reusing it? Yes. It's incredibly frustrating in a show that I love. I think is phenomenal. It's, oh boy, it ain't great, folks. I'm going to tell you right now. It's not killer. It is no killer, all filler, mostly all filler. There is a little bit of great ideas sprinkled throughout. I think if it was the Endless Four, it would be much more manageable and much more enjoyable. Or if they broke out of it, broke away from it, mess with expectations a bit more. Maybe. There's something there. So I don't hate it as much as as much as I dislike, I should say, Jiggle Butt Gang and hate Devil Believers arc. This one is not, I'm frustrated more than anything and disappointed. Oh yeah, that's a good word for it. I'm disappointed. Here's another one that, this one you might remember and enjoy. Because sometimes filler is terrible and it takes on a life of its own and becomes like iconically bad or ironically fun. Because this is not an example because I think it's great. The driver's license, the driver's test episode of Dragon Ball Z. At the time, I know people didn't like it in Japan. It has become a fun, silly episode that people remember fondly now. That is maybe the case with some people. I don't know everybody. But I thought this episode of Naruto Shippuden sucks. This is the Mecha Naruto episode. There's so much filler in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. I mean, the end of Naruto is a lot of filler, bridging the gap between Naruto and Shippuden. And Shippuden has filler arcs. I'm talking about like a very small arc here of this episode. Really, I'm not diving into the larger arcs. Like, I'm not talking about Naruto on a boat because that's a thing that happens that's really frustrating. But I want to talk about this episode because I think they're supposed to be in on the joke. Like, they know this is ridiculous even for Naruto, and it's supposed to be like lighthearted, but like a lot of the jokes died when they grew up. Like, Shippuden has fun, but it's not funny. It is Naruto Shippuden is the Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball, to Naruto's Dragon Ball. It is a different thing. It is aging with the audience, and this episode is goofy as fuck, and it's weird. I don't like it. It feels like a waste of an episode, and that's not good. And I said, there are probably some people out there that would say, oh, no, Pat, no, it's this part of Naruto, it's that part of Naruto. How can you say that the Mecha Naruto episode is an example of the worst filler when Yota is a thing? Well, that's because we're also talking about Yota from Naruto Shippuden. We have to talk about Yota because it's a criminal act to put this filler in. This is the only anime we're talking about with two examples of it. As I said, there's more Naruto to talk about. And maybe I'll do another video with some Naruto. But I have to talk about Yota because it's... So, you're looking at it and you go, well, Pat, this is better, too good an animation for Naruto for when it aired. It's a flashback. Yota shows up in the Ninja Wars, and then there is a flashback to Shinobi Wars, you know. There's a flashback to childhood. Basically, Yota is a failed reincarnation experiment that then gets used by someone else later. But for a brief period, Yota is from a mysterious clan, and he has weird powers, and he makes friends with a bunch of the kids from the Hidden Leaf Village, including Naruto. And if you are unaware, Naruto doesn't have any friends until he makes a friend rival in Sasuke. Sasuke is Naruto's first friend. So this retcons it. Now, oh, Pat, don't worry about it, because when Yota erased their memories, so even though Yota made friends with a bunch of these kids and even had Naruto become friends with them collectively, when he was going away, he erased all their memories so they didn't remember him at all. So then nature progressed. They weren't friendly with Naruto, which is even worse. It's a retcon that basically says a major element of this story isn't technically true, because then also everybody kind of remembers him later and then never thinks about him again. As I said, because it only exists in filler, there's no reference to it in the manga, which the anime is adapting. So Yota does not exist at all because he's filler. So he exists in the moment, but he does not exist in the larger picture. So when Naruto is getting married and thinking about all of the important people in his life and all of his friends are there, there's no remembering Yota. Yota, I should say, not Yoda. Yota. There's no remembrance about Yota, his first friend, because he doesn't exist in that part of the adaptation. It's infuriating. It's unbelievably infuriating. Like, it breaks so much stuff for no reason. I'm getting hot. How long have I been talking? All right, yeah. I've been talking long enough about that. We'll move on to conclusions. I did not talk about Bleach, the Bount arc. There's a lot of Bleach that is frustrating. There's the like humans that got powers because of all of the stuff happening with the spirit realm in Yu Hakusho that's bad. I mentioned earlier that there is in Fairy Tail, there's a whole celestial combat, like rebellion arc that's like not good. There's plenty of filler out there that's worse. I could do another one of these. I probably will. I'm definitely not going to do one next time, but there will be another episode of the worst anime filler because, and also I should do a good anime filler. What's some stuff that added to it? There might be out there, and I think I can think of one. There might be out there a filler that gets referenced again, that they actually go out of their way to be like, oh, and that filler is canon now within it, and we'll remember it, and we'll go on. Nausicaa the Wind has some bad fucking... No, maybe it's Nausicaa the Wind. I can't remember. There's an example, I think it is of that. There's an example of some really weird filler out there. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with what I said here? Do you want to fight me on this? Is Mecha Naruto fucking actually a dope episode, Pat? What are you talking about? Let me know in the comments some of the examples of your worst filler. Do you just not know and you're like, I didn't know that was filler, I thought whatever, or filler you think is good? Like the there's like I said, the Dragon Ball Z episode where they go and get their driver's license tests. They go take a learner's test. Do you think that's cream of the crop? What are some examples you like? Because I should do a best anime filler episode. I should do that. This has been Pat Baer's Anime Club. As always, I appreciate you watching this video. If you'd like to leave a comment, I would love that. As I mentioned, I've been doing that. If you have ideas for future videos you'd like to see me do, because they don't all have to be suggested by me. You could suggest a video idea that you'd like to see. In 2 videos from now will be my summer wrap-up fall preview. I don't know what I'm doing next. Let me look at my list of video ideas here. I do have something. I have an idea for one, and I have another one that I have to kind of research that I'm not ready to do yet. I've been talking about doing the weirdest and worst plot reveals. The weirdest and worst plot reveals in anime. I have like 2 good examples of that. So I might end up doing that. There's also, somebody did recommend to me manga that doesn't stick the landing because some people are unhappy with My Hero Academia and are expecting the worst for Jujutsu Kaisen. Again, I don't know if I necessarily want to do another negative one. Weirdest and worst, I'm not sure yet. I don't know what I'm doing in 2 weeks from this recording. But if you have ideas, I'd love to hear them. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.